And we're back online. Welcome back. I am Jun Chan, and we are continuing our earlier stream where we are exploring this idea of implementing an NBody simulation program using Haskell and running in the GPU. So please refer to the first stream, which is published on YouTube, to understand a little bit of the context for this. And as I mentioned before, we're going to start now with basically a little bit of tooling. Because because my computer is not necessarily completely set up to be doing Haskell development and graphic Haskell development as well. Okay, so what am I doing here? I want some kind of shell. So maybe I should start with the git bash. Let's see if this gets us places. And I want to go in my shared folder, and I think I'll create a new folder here for, let's say, NBody. And I'll start by just cloning the accelerate example package, and so that will be probably somewhere on GitHub, and maybe I need to just get all of the accelerate thing, unless it's in a different repo. Let's see. NBody simulation, that's in accelerate example. Yeah, that's in a different package. Very well. And we'll clone this. And apparently we already have keyboard shortcuts issues here that are not going to be nice. But we shall see. Okay, so we go in there, and what do we have? We have stack 8.10 as the most recent compatibility, and so 8.10 Haskell sounds like a really good idea. I don't think I have. Yeah, I have 8.8. So we have a fork in the road here. I might want to just try and build things maybe directly with Cabal, and thinking that, and actually could, I guess with HPAC, maybe I can generate a Cabal file from a stack 8.8. You know what, I've never done that, and we don't have HPAC. Okay, so will Cabal install HPAC work? No installation instructions. But it seems like we're on the way. So since we're using a fairly recent version of Cabal, I'm just hoping that package management is done in a smart way. We're not using Nix or Stack, so I'm just hoping here that actually my Cabal is not going to be re-downloading all of these dependencies all the time. I think that's what Cabal 3 does, and this seems to be talking Cabal 3. So, well, actually that doesn't matter here. Cabal 3 is it's a totally different thing, because I guess HPAC is going to analyze the stack.yaml file and generate a .cabal file from it compatible with Cabal 3. I think that's what this says. Required because Cabal 3 is okay, broken. Okay, that's not great. I don't like to see that. But that doesn't seem to be the case with the 8.8 version. Okay. But let's see. It could be that, I mean, this is actually going to take forever to compile and install, which I guess is the life of a Haskeller trying things. But something that we're probably going to need as well is LLVM, because it seems that LLVM would be the key to programming on the GPU, if I understand correctly. Let's try and explore that. So that's what we can do while things install, is that we can, well, actually look up the examples and actually get a sense of sort of conceptually kick the tires for now, right? Before doing it in actuality. Okay, so that's the code we'll want to take a look at. But before I do that, well, actually, no, we want to take a look at this to know what the dependencies are. Hey, Counteran, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. So this uses Gloss for the rendering, which is all good, but I have Gloss installed, I think, on my Mac when I was trying such things before, but I don't have it installed here, so we'll need to do that. Not quite, actually. I'm doing work that I think people interested in game programming in Haskell will be also familiar with and interested in. Yeah, definitely using the GPU will be the type of thing that you'll want to do in a game. Using Accelerate is probably going to be fairly rare in game programming in Haskell, I would suppose. Usually it's more the FRP side of the equation, and I'm not sure where these two meet these days. Between highly efficient data pipelines with GPU and CPU backends and a more reactive style of programming, which sort of abstracts over time and allow you to compose your behaviors and so on. I don't know whether there's a well understood meeting points between those two. So right now I'm taking it from the side of more like high performance computing, but I'm very interested in game programming techniques in Haskell as well. But right now, our first attempt to look at programming the NBody problem will be with the Accelerate package, but we might be looking at other things, like one thing I was looking at is Fear, which is actually it's a DSL, Haskell-based DSL that renders into GPU shader language, specifically SpearV, which is for use for Vulkan. And then there's the other one, which is compiling to categories from Canal Elliott. So, but my first port of call here was looking at Accelerate, because that's the first thing that came up when I did NBody problem in Haskell. And so it could be that when we understand this a bit, then we'll move to try and see whether it can be implemented on other frameworks, including maybe FRP ones. And to answer your question, I have been reading Haskell for about 5 or 6 years. I've been writing Haskell for maybe about a year or so. And I've been writing more PureScript. PureScript I've been writing for about 3 years or so. And I consider myself that's kind of intermediate level. Yeah, there are not a lot of people that do game programming in Haskell, but there are some. There's even a Reddit for it, believe it or not, but it's not very popular. But there is a Haskell game development Reddit, and people bump it sometimes. 15 days ago, check this out. Someone developed a Tetris in Haskell 15 days ago. So it is not as active as the main Haskell subreddit, but definitely worth checking out. And then, one of the big proponent of Haskell game development is Ivan Perez, who now works at NASA. And Haskell Games and Beyond. Ran a small shop that did publish actual games onto, I think, at least the Android store, maybe even the Apple store. Kira is the name of the company, and Kira Games, Kira Studio, the Haskell game and app company. They had like a cookie game, Haskell on Android and iOS. So definitely there is prior art, and in fact there's some stuff that I might be exploring in other streams, and I've talked a bit about it, I think, in other contexts, maybe not here directly, but I talked about it last time when Chris Banner showed up on the stream, and there's this formulation of FRP which I really like, and there's a derivation of it called Rhine by Ivan Perez and Turion Rhine, which does something that I think is pretty unique, which is having type system clocks, type level clocks. So you're able to write in your types that your stream functions, your monadic stream functions, have a particular clock, and then you can combine them or compose them with monadic stream functions that have other clocks, as long as you have a way to translate, you have some way to concretely translate one clock into the other in terms of how you're actually going to run your event loop. And you can, in fact, then even compose with asynchronous monadic stream functions. And I think this is, to me, a bit like a best in class of thinking about streams in any programming language, in fact. And so that bit is really interesting. And FRP is definitely usually what people reach for when they think about game programming in Haskell. But hey, thanks for the follow. When you follow a bit sort of the really smart people, the masters in the Haskell ecosystem, then you see that actually those approaches, even though they might be extremely satisfying from the conceptual standpoint, and that might really offer a really great API, they don't necessarily address like how things are going to run on modern CPUs. And if you look at the actual game ecosystem, then you have that whole concept of data-oriented programming, data-oriented technology in, for instance, the Unity game engine. And this arguably sort of is less about FRP and whatnot, although there are, I think, high-level frameworks that do more FRP-ish reactive thingies in Unity. But it in my view, it leans more towards the practices that you find in high-performance computing, which is sort of putting everything in arrays, or arrays of structures, or structures of arrays of structures, and use this particular layout so that the modern CPUs are able to do proper predictive evaluation and things like that, like the modern things that will make CPUs go really fast. And also allow GPU to do similar things with sort of GPU architecture. So I think the smart game programmers are more looking at things that run super fast and, do it in C++. That's, usually how it's done. And the people that pay attention to that in the Haskell ecosystem, I think, are more looking at this as array programming and things like that. So I'm right now I'm giving myself, this is a learning stream. I'm doing things to kind of, learn and maybe at the same time allow others to discover stuff. And so I want to take it. I've done quite a bit of exploration of the FRP interface, even though I've never programmed anything, significant in it. But now I feel like I want to get a sense of how to do something like the NBody simulation with a more high-performance computing approach. So you're talking about the Rhine one? Or which example were you speaking of? Clock string schedule millisecond collect. Sum zip with, so that seems like that's not what you were referring to. Maybe accelerate? Oh, this one. Yeah, sum zip with. Yes, right. So except that I think in this case, maybe fold is overloaded. Maybe that's the accelerate fold. But you know what? I'm not so sure yet because I don't know the package so well. Let's see, fold. Folding. Yeah, I suppose that this is the accelerate fold. So, yeah. So that runs in the accelerate monad in order to be able to then interpret it with different backends. Yeah. So yeah, when you enter this style of everyone has their little DSL, and there's a lot of overloading, and it's not clear whether this is. I mean, actually, this gives it away. The fact that the type contains ACK and the front, and in fact, if you're interested in this from a more theoretical standpoint, this is about whether you could lift the normal Haskell fold or sum, for instance, into the ACK monad or category, and that's a problem that I think is one of the essence of the compiling to category project, which is by the author of, well, actually the inventor of FRP, Colonel Elliott, and also defender of the proper use of the term for reactive programming that is resolution independent in regards to time. So uses a continuous notion of time. That's the true FRP according to Colonel Elliott. And his latest work is compiling to categories, which is a GHC plugin, which would potentially allow you to use sum and zip with the way you do, but then have it been rewritten as something that could, for instance, run in an LLVM backend or run in a GPU backend. So all that stuff is possible, but compiling with category is actually, I think I've tried to install it once and it didn't go super well, but maybe I know more now, maybe it would be easier. But I think accelerate might, even though it might not be the most elegant or the most edgy approach, I think it's more production ready or robust. It's been worked on for a long time. It's one of the initial array programming and sort of accelerated frameworks. I am not using Nix. No, I'm actually on this machine. I'm on Windows because I use it also to stream gaming. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I wanted to try in the Windows environment, even though my laptop is an OS X machine. I've been using that for a while, and I love to use Nix, but I haven't haven't done the leap yet. Oh, let's check out what our yeah, HPAC is still building. So we haven't even started installing Accelerate. We're still installing the tooling to install Accelerate. So that's a very typical story. And yeah, GHC is state of the art, but it is slow. Yeah, you're right. It might indeed help the installation of things. I did mention this. I'm not sure that, supposedly Cabal 3 is doing smarter things with regards to, finally installed, is doing smarter things with regards to dependency management. Like I've been using Stack for a while, but yeah, on this machine, I actually haven't installed it, and I'm trying to, what I realized is that we're using Stack because it's kind of complementary to Cabal. I didn't really understand Cabal well enough, and so I feel like trying out and getting more familiar with Cabal is not a bad idea because that will allow me to understand better the rest of the tooling. And I think Cabal is supposed to have been catching up with Stack as well. Yeah, I could also run in WSL, and then that means I'm not really doing Windows programming. And so if I want to, compile down to something that works on Windows and on my GPU, then I feel like running this inside a container, that's going to add some layers. I mean, I actually have ran NVIDIA CUDA code from inside a container. There's a compatibility layer right there. You can actually access the GPU, but I want to try things this way. I might fail miserably and revert back, and but there's a number of things that I couldn't do if I had to switch between my my Ubuntu partition and my OS X partition and my Windows partition. So because Windows, I'm kind of trying to refamiliarize myself with Windows is another way to say it. But maybe that's not a good goal to have. Okay, so we have HPAC, and so that means that we should be able to HPAC the stack 8.8 YAML. And that's then if we open this folder, we should have a Cabal file, accelerated example Cabal. Yeah, we do. And so then I should be able to do something like Cabal build and then look at the chat. All right. Yeah, Cantor, and that's great. I appreciate your follow, and have a great day. Hope your 2021 is starting awesome, and see you later. So, okay, well, it looks like, wow, that's amazing. We didn't get a dependency error. So that's very encouraging. So many times that actually after this step, I would be running into Cabal telling me that it can't resolve my dependencies. So that's awesome. But it will take a lot of time. So that's the perfect time to start looking at the code and trying to understand what we'll be doing here. And so before doing that, let me, oh yeah, and gloss was the thing that I was thinking of, and I'll put all of these tabs into our log. There's some duplication here, but that's okay. And gloss, Windows 10, that is something else, isn't it? Yes, nothing to do with anything. OpenGL under the hood. Hold on, you mean, I think there is something to install when we install gloss, right? It's not using SDL, is it? It's OpenGL under the hood. And is that it? So we actually don't need another graphics library. It's just going to do OpenGL directly. Well, that's very nice. So we don't have to, there's no system dependency here that I can tell. HPAC we can close. Yeah. And so we use, so back to the NBody example code. This will use gloss and some solvers, which we don't know what that is, but, and then something from the graphics package, interface pure game. Okay, what is this? Yeah, no, it's not a URL. That's also from the gloss package. Okay. Game mode lets you manage your own input. Pressing S will still board the program. So really convenient functions to get a graphical environment running. So that's perfect. And then what? We begin monitoring and we get some stuff. some arguments, and we start doing some solving, and then we get positions randomly assigned, and we use those positions to create our bodies, and we put these bodies into some kind of world thing. We define what our advancing step will be, so most of the smarts, I guess, are going to be in this function. And probably this function as well, where we pass some stuff coming from our backend, presumably events, and maybe even parameters for displaying, and we advance our bodies. And forward onto dawn. How poetic, love it. And then there's some tests to be ran, some benchmarks, and then there's an interactive way to run those. And this will run in a window called NBody with a black background. It will simulate things, and it will know how to advance the simulation and how to deal with input. This is super standard in Haskell game development. And right, so a few candidates here to drill down. Simulate advance. I suppose simulate is from the gloss library. Let's check this assumption. It's wrong. Maybe it's from higher up. We're not importing everything qualified here, but you know what? I'll double down and I'll bet it is from the gloss package, and I'll just try and find it in index. And it is. It's just, it was adjacent to where we were. It was in .simulate. Okay, so, and then where we pass it, and I caught this from the corner of my eye, is actually the advanced function, which is the main intelligence here. And so where we advance world, and advanced world is also needs to have a step that's going to advance the bodies. And so I think both advanced world and advanced bodies are going to be the workhorse here, and I assume they're going to be in one or two or all of these algorithms here. But let me think about how that could really be the case, because I don't see those things. Okay, so let's duplicate this tab so that we search for advanced world in the code base, and that comes from NBody common world. So those are actually, these come from common body and common world. That would be advanced bodies and advanced world. That's where they come from. And solver, okay, we do pass the solver, and depending on how our command line arguments, we can use one of those three solvers. And I imagine Barnes Hut is a well-known NBody simulation algorithm, and indeed there's a hit there. And it's a kind of a tree-based calculation, which makes me think of octrees and other game programming thingies. And look at that, a beautiful spiral galaxy coming out of the simulation. Wow, gotta love that, no? Huh. Amazing. So that's cool. Some of the most demanding high-performance computing projects do computational astrophysics using the Barnes tree code algorithm. Well, we're in good company. That's totally awesome. And oh, there's maybe those are improvements. Parallel GPU and body simulation program with fast tagless particle tree traversal. That sounds like that would be exactly the type of thing we want to run in the GPU. And what are those? Integration method. Ah, okay, yeah, so that's a building block. I guess you want to have some way to choose your integration algorithm. Interesting. And there's some gallery. And what's the date for this? This is recent stuff. Rungekuta, that's isn't that ODE resolution tool? Yeah, approximate ordinary differential equations. So this all sounds super interesting. And what is it programmed on? In C++, of course. So then here is the question is, I mean, yeah, is someone much smarter than me already implemented this? And where are they? And if we find them in the Haskell ecosystem, or maybe more broadly, these folks could be in Julia these days, then we have something that's worth looking at in terms of learning about recent stuff. And libffi is missing, and so how do we get this in Windows 10? we get violently brought back down to the ground of software engineering when our tooling tells us that we're missing some library. Oh boy. In the Grav VM as well. Okay, maybe this will give us instructions for Windows installation. It supports the world. Installing. Installing seems to mean building, which I guess is how the adults do it, but I'd so prefer to be able to just run MSI. Yeah. So, yeah, my prediction of having to do some tooling. Well, Cabal has given us no difficulty, which is super awesome, but we're now getting into some dependency trouble. But arguably that's because I'm trying to maybe build the world here inside this package. And maybe I can just say to build a specific thing, like what we're interested in. And in fact, NBody is not part of this. No, it is. So we can add this as a flag, and then maybe that will reduce the surface of the dependencies we need. But it looks like libffi is a sub-dependency of something. Maybe kryptonite. Not sure what. So let's try to kebab build, and how do we pass? Seems like it's a flag. So I'm not sure how we pass flags. And I'm going to need to find how to do search here. Flag. Target flags. Okay, fine. Then it seems like it's just kebab build NBody then. Cannot build the package NBody is not in this project because you wanted a package and a strong flags constraint. Oh, -f. So, and we passed them afterwards is I guess what this means. Kebab build some targets, both are optional. So hopefully we can just do, oh my god, what did I do? Wow, love this. I'm sure everyone can read very well. Okay, no, that's really, what happened there? That's terrible. Oh my god, I don't know. Okay, I think I did control left, or maybe command left. Oh boy, whatever I did, I can't do the reverse. Maybe there's a reset in this world, but this looks like it's not. Yeah, reset works, but clear. Yeah, no reset. Boy. Theme is not it. Is there a zooming window? Column seems all right. Oh boy. Okay, didn't I install Alacritty on this machine? I thought I did. I did not. Okay, let's check again. All apps. No, apparently I did not. That's actually something I don't really believe. I really thought I did. Let's go check out the program files folder, and no, it looks like maybe I didn't. Okay, fine. Let's install it, because this is going to drive me crazy. And having a GPU accelerated terminal seems like exactly the type of things we want for this stream. So, and we have a installer, which we can keep. Thank you. And we download random programs from the internet. Don't do that. Don't bypass security things. Do as I say, not as I do. I mean, obviously, this whole thing, I'm going to lie right now, but obviously all this whole thing is running inside a VM that's completely secure. And of course, then everything is running inside a simulation. You know, my whole apartment really is a simulation. So we are safe. Okay, Alacritty seems to be installed. And so can I run it now, please? Okay. And that's going to be a PowerShell. Yeah. And if I do bash, I'm going to be thrown inside the Ubuntu VM. So maybe I can ask it to go into the git bash. How would I do that? Alacritty git bash. Set your shell to the bash exe in git bash and you're good to go. Yeah, that's kind of what I would like to do, but I'm not sure. We did configure which at some point somewhere else, but it didn't stick. This thing is Just set your shell in Alacritty. Yeah, where are the Alacritty settings? And I'm pretty sure if I run bash, this runs a WSL. Yeah, and I don't want that. Maybe I'm wrong not to want that. msys2 bash program. msys2. Okay. This runs a shell into its own thing. So in theory, I should be able to tell Alacritty to run msys2, which is min_tty and the git. Or maybe those are not the same thing. I may install Alacritty and run git bash inside it. Yeah. That's kind of what I want to do. Can clear window when using git bash. That's not good. So let's try and follow this. Set your shell in the Alacritty config. So this Alacritty doesn't create the config file for you, but it looks for one in the following locations. Okay, so on Windows, the config file should be located at blah. Okay. Okay, app data. Is app data program data or not? I hate these Windowsisms. Inside your user directory. Okay. So no. Okay, very well. Users, me. And app data. Okay, got it. And okay, we'll open with Xcode. And we'll create a new file. Oh, actually, new folder. And it's not going to work. Running file create participants. What is this? Participants? What the? And what is going on here? There is strangeness, maybe because it's a system folder. Anyhow, okay, extensive configuration. We can find the default configuration file. Okay, so that would be in the releases. Okay. So I suppose we can delete this guy. And will dragging work? It does. Shell. Program bin bash. Windows OS PowerShell. Yeah. Okay, so shell. Program. And where is git bash? So we don't have enough information in here. to the bash.exe and git bash and you're good to go. Okay, yeah, that's not a very detailed thing. So we need to find where git bash keeps its things. I suppose it's in program files or something. Oh boy. Let's try and find it in the apps. Git bash open file location, and it's a shortcut, and its property, it has a target, and it's cd to home in there. Okay, so maybe let's try first with something terse, and then we do want args. Thank you for asking, and we'll make it this, and then we'll save, exit, and you know what? We'll exit you. You're terrible, and we'll run Alacritty again, right? That's the and probably we'll put it in the taskbar, because it's impossible to find things. And it launched PowerShell, so we are not winning. So probably because this Alacritty file is in fact not in the right place or something, I would suppose. So let's look at the instructions again. Okay, how do we PowerShell and no, it's it is an env variable. Show env variable. I don't want to show them all. Okay, show app data. There we go. And app data. Roaming. And I get this. Panicked. System cannot find the file specified. Okay, so we'll revert to where is shell? To the, where did it go? Yeah, you couldn't find git bash earlier, so I could have foreseen that. And so, well, we'll start. We'll copy the actual path. Okay, should be this, and we'll save and try and rerun Alacritty. Hey, well, boy, okay, it did this, which is definitely not what we wanted. So I guess that this is not the way to open the git bash shell in Alacritty. I suppose we could see if it actually supports this approach, and we are back with our keyboard issues as well. So it's not RNGesus, right? What is the pantheon of software developers? So who can we curse to? Right, so I just want to restart it and see. Yeah, no, it does the same thing. Okay, wonderful. So we know this one. And I guess that looks like a dead end. TJ. Basically, nobody else does this. Oh, okay. We might have some lead right here. I see. Sysnative. Sysnative, what's that? With WSL. And this is about cursor style. Okay, hold on. Let's try and save again and see. No, yeah, that just doesn't work. Maybe there's a way to start it in PowerShell. Hey, git bin sh. That sounds like a more likely shell. Maybe the git bash is actually I was gonna say maybe it's the GUI, but this doesn't even make sense. Okay, yeah, actually, if we run git bash and we say echo $0 user bin bash, MingW64, I think is just the windowing API. Let's go check out what is around the C program file git folder. There's definitely a bin bash in there. So how about that instead? Ahahaha. Oh yeah. Okay, not a dead end. So let's be a nice open source citizen of the world and say Okay. And it'd be nice to not be in Windows System 32, to be honest. So maybe I should rethink my how I'm doing this, which is that there was a command that was passed there that was --cd to home, and let's see whether we can actually append that as well. No, that doesn't work. Okay, let's push just a tiny bit on this. Or I should say a tiny bit more. Wonderful Haskell stream, isn't it? CD to home. Execute bin bash. Okay, so maybe it's Alacritty's job to do that. It is. Directory the shell started in. Okay, hold on. Of the parent process, yeah, exactly not what we want. So, oh well, I guess we'll have to do to make it only to my user. Not the best thing, but probably okay. And try again. Error. See the log at blah. Unable to look config. Problem with config while parsing a quoted scalar. And not finding specific hexadecimal number. You think that's a quoted scalar? Okay, because you were interpreting those backslashes. I guess this is the fake simplicity of YAML coming and biting us there. And wonderful. Okay, so now I can, in fact, finally close this uncomfortable branch we were following here. And then we can go finally into shared workspace NBody and accelerate example and try again our cabal build, except this time we say flag NBody. That's, I think, is exactly where we were. And if I, well, it looks like I don't have amazing, is there not a search in this terminal? Joan, you said you were not going to continue with the tooling. Search text. Oh, I see. So it's not implemented in the terminal. We're supposed to be using tmux for this. Without adding a whole mode. Agreg scroll by buffer search. So there is a function for it. I guess we just need to find how to trigger it. I guess if we check out the merge request, maybe we will find out. It's from VI mode. Oh, no, search. Here's a list of things that would be useful to test. While searching shortly before functional, the match is currently only locked to std out and not displayed in Alacritty. That's not going to be very useful. Let's scroll back. Zero to 0 when 2018. Scrolling, blah, auto scroll. Oh boy. It seems to be telling me I'm going to need to reopen my app data here. Scrolling. So it must be a VI mode thing. How do we get into VI mode? Maybe like in VI? Well, I'm not going to do this while this is running. Can I start another guy? Not trivially. Okay. Okay, escape is not it, although, well, I am now not even able to display anything. Okay. Okay, we're back to the libffi issue. Despite us narrowing our build to the NBody thing. So how do you, let me see, Alacritty switch to VI mode. VI mode. Okay, how to use the new VI mode. Control-Shift-Space. Control-Shift-Space. Oh boy. Yeah, it might be the case, but and then how do you exit it? Colon Q doesn't do anything, and now I don't know what to do. Maybe Control-Shift-Space again. Yes. Okay. So Control-Shift-Space, and then if I do backslash, oh yeah, we are cooking with gas, or sort of. Okay, yeah, there we are. Okay, oh boy, learning. So we're back to libffi and the. Okay, maybe we need to narrow down libffi Haskell Windows 10. How about that? Yeah, maybe that will explain how we build. Not really. It doesn't even have a GitHub repo. Okay. Some error related to that. Okay, that's a CI problem, maybe. The window related hack you referred to was added by me a long time ago, and without it, it couldn't build libffi on my machine at that time. Okay. JC boot compiler. Don't know what that is. Config log contain entry of paths that are completely irrelevant. There isn't even mention of any MingW related path. in GW. I don't even know how you say this. When building GHC through blah, so that's actually when building GHC. So old Windows related hacks seem to be the culprit. Okay, that's the one they're talking about. Add config shell. Inject bin bash into libtool instead of bin sh, otherwise Windows break. Not very obvious. And then this somehow does something with min-gw. Oh, a spammer. Be banned. Wow, a string of spammers. It's like what's the plural for spammers? Is it a murder of spammers? Okay, install. Wow, there's a lot of them. Binary names, da da da. So let's first try pkg-config. How about that? And libffi, I think. And I think that means I haven't found it, right? But like glibc, for instance. You don't have that either. How about libc? You have nothing. Okay. What about if you're if we don't do anything? Do you list? No. You don't know this? Oh boy, come on. Really? Twitch, you're really doing this to me? Okay, I'll remove the chat box from screen. And okay, well, this folks seems to be sort of banned already. But, oh boy, this is not pleasant. Okay. So pkg-config doesn't know its options. Is it because we're in the Windows world, so we do strange things like this? So list all. I was almost there. And that's nothing. And so which path are you for which pkg-config are you? You pkg-config lite. So I have followed this path before. Yes. And well, thank you, old path. How are you doing? pkg-config lite, Windows, and path. How to install pkg-config in Windows, exactly. We download these things. Dependent libraries, I think we've done some of it. Choco install, I'm not sure we did that. Do we have Chocolatey installed? We do actually. So maybe we did install it through there. And maybe that's the more package manager-y way to do this. And yeah, there's a min-gw version. What I remember is that then the .pc get copied somewhere. /bin. That sounds a bit weird, but could be, I suppose. No, but no, it would be /lib, I think, if it was something. Maybe user local lib? No, user lib. There is a user lib. Also, there are things, I mean, but they don't even get seen. OpenSSL, No, they don't even get seen. So that's not good. Is it an interaction between pkg-config lite and where are we in git bash? No, that's good. Git no. Search path. Yeah, exactly. User share pkg-config. Is that where things are? There is no such thing. And I think, actually, if I remember correctly, there is definitely progress because we couldn't even get to fail to beat libffi. I think it would fail on an error that it couldn't even find pkg-config. So now at least we're possibly a little bit ahead in our troubleshooting stack, but this is related to Debian. So that's not going to help, I don't think. And probably we need to say Windows. Aha, and stack gives me file not found. That seems like a Haskeller, fellow Haskeller. Okay, so however, not clear still where the paths are. Oh boy, this muscle memory command click that saves things in Windows. Well, works also the other pkg-config list in the FAQ here. Crashes for me on Windows 10 Home as well as Pro. Well, at least ours doesn't die, but okay, let's look again at the options. See whether we can find one that tells us where it's going to search. Version, linker flags, settable, known packages. The fact that there's no known packages is an obvious big red flag. Okay, I mean, we can't sudo here, can we? No. I'm just thinking that I'm not sure how user management goes. Verbose debug installation? Oh, well, not. List all, debug. Okay, it's looking at things. Oh, very good, very good. Error printing enabled by default due to the output options beside -- exists. Error printing enabled. Yeah, I like that. Added virtual pkg-config package to list unknown packages. Okay, so you're supposed to know about yourself. Is that what you're telling me? Mod version, I think. You say that you don't know this option, but oh, right. Without the middle dash. Okay, yeah, indeed, you know about yourself. Congratulations. And then it seems like we will need some path like this. And Control C doesn't work properly here. Is middle button gonna work? Well, it pastes, but it doesn't copy. And how about right click? Doesn't do the right thing. So maybe enter. I mean, that's not that. And we don't have a edit thing. So maybe we need to be in VI mode and do, I don't even remember how it's yank, right? So Y, and then paste. That doesn't work. Okay, well, fine. Oh, you're not going to autocomplete for me either? That's sad. Is this even going to work? No. Holy moly, this isn't working either. Oh, is it because of my non-window slashes? It was. Okay, so git and blah. That looks like it should be the root of user lib, but it's not. So it'd be nice to be able to add something in the pkg-config's path, but I don't know how to do that. But you said that you couldn't find the thing. Cannot open directory. Oh, /pkg-config. Yes, indeed, you don't have a /pkg-config. Okay, okay. So let's create one. And I'm trying to copy paste again, and oh boy, that's going to be so annoying. Okay, I need to find out how to copy paste in Alacritty. Control-Shift-C. Not possible because it's okay, it's going to shut down. Yeah, okay. Control-Shift-C, fine. pkg-config. Permission denied, huh? We're gonna brute force this. I think we're gonna brute force this. Lib properties, and it says read only. Apply to subfolders. Nope. Okay, I'll create it through the GUI. That's not going to solve much. But at least it's there. And let's run the... oh, it's good that Control-R works. What am I thinking of now? I'm thinking of debug. Not a PC file. Okay, so seems like we have some place to put PC files now. And so it means that we, in theory, should be able to... Well, okay, is there a libffi package on Chocolatey? Doesn't look... Oh. Well, I see quite a lot of libffi related things. Oh, there's a Maison port from GStreamer. LVM's Windows support is not superior, especially when C++ is involved. It would be nice to use it. doesn't port, I suppose, of libffi. Shoko install GHC. That's interesting. Wow, the install story is not nice, huh? MC2. That sounds like exactly where I'd like to build or install. Let's definitely give it a shot. Look at me pasting. You're not running from an elevated command shell. Oh yeah, so I'm definitely going to run into problems if I do this from here. How do I elevate myself in git bash? So I suppose maybe just running Alacritty as an administrator is the other way. Let's see if we can looks like so, but it's already installed. Info. List. Things. There is Alacritty in here. And there's Haskell stack. So that must be previous efforts of mine that I'd forgotten about, including Haskell dev. Interesting. Okay. So I thought that following this path would just give me libffi for free. And it doesn't, or at least not trivially, but I wouldn't completely discard it because it could be that actually all our stuff is just installed in a different directory that just doesn't get seen by pkg-config lite. Which, weirdly enough, is not in that list. So could that be a user directory thing? Is that going to give me the whole world? We don't know whether this is the actual list of installed packages. List remote or local packages. So I need to see where this minus help. This is not completing. Minus local only. Okay, yeah, that's probably why you're local only. Much easier. And we do see MSys2 2 here, but so, 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 is it installing these things? User share info. We don't even have a user share info here. Okay, so I guess this is why people just go for WSL, right? But I don't think we can use OpenGL and our GPU access like this. It's not gonna be good. But so clearly, if we install things via Chocolatey, they don't appear in the package list. Okay, maybe I should try pkg-config in the elevated privilege thing. Doesn't make much difference. So I suppose an option would be to actually install pkg-config through Chocolatey instead of doing this manually like this. So let's try that. Since in fact, let's check this out. Maybe there's an installing. Oh boy. Share, you say? Autoconfig local. Right. So this is really pretty much nothing. So I must have added also the path to the environment manually. So let's try choco install pkg-config. How about that? Does this even exist? It looks like it might. Package was not found, so no. And so how about light? No. And I remember hovering around in the Haskell configuration on Windows wiki and not getting a lot of answers about sort of a recent best practice for this. This is 1 year ago, so that's not too long. So that's a pie in the sky goal, which means that currently binary use this approach. And the Stack Overflow post definitely tell us that, and this attempt, I think, tell us that pkg-config light is at least some of what other people tried for solving the same problem. Oh. Okay, this is promising. Because if this hooks up into our Choco installs, then we can use that as the package manager, and we can assume that it's going to be wired so that pkg-config finds the stuff that's been installed through Shoko. And if that's the case, then we'll feel better. And we have a shim for pkg-config exe, so let's make sure that actually this is hooked up. It is hooked up, and so let's list all and pray to the software developer pantheon, and we've got nothing here. But let's see where it looks. It looks in Chocolatey now. As well as in the original places where it looked before. So still not the best. But maybe more consistent. I don't know. So now I guess we can in fact try libffi here and sort of see what's up. Yeah. Seems to be some solution here to do something a little bit different. Okay, I am gonna take a break for maybe 10 minutes or so, and I shall be back. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow.